Hey Wastelanders, this is Gary. I wanted to do a video responding to RJ's knives. He did an open tag for liner locks, and I admit I don't understand the tag. So I'm going to do it and make up the rules because I thought he was doing a tag for traditional knife lovers that also like liner locks, but maybe not have as many liner locks. But I still don't understand the tag. But he said play along, so I broke out some of my liner locks that are always like within reach. So these probably would be considered some of my favorite liner locks, and there's not all. I have like a good 200 to 300 knives, but I suspect like 50% of them are probably liner locks, and a good percent of them are frame locks. So these are some of my favorite liner locks. I just have to limit it to 9, and some are old and some are recent. So let's start out with this Kershaw Blur. This is the Kershaw Blur, and this was a, what do you call it, a sprint run that I picked up, and this is my first Blur. I know that Blur has been around a long time, but I've never owned a Blur until I picked up this. This is an M4, CPM M4, and like I said, it was a sprint run. This is an assisted knife. I like assisted knives sometimes, Kershaw assisted knives. So you can see it's a CPM M4. It's made in the US, and at first I didn't like this knife, but it grew on me. Now I love it. So I don't use it. I flip it. I mean, I don't hard use it. I don't go out in the woods and carve limbs with it. I mean, I don't want to fuck it up. So the next knife, it would be considered like all my Dagger knives I really like, so I could stick any of them there. So I think this was my first Dagger knife, though, so I have a certain opinion of it because I like it more than the others because that was my first. So this is the Dagger knife. Did I say it Sting? I love this Dagger. I love this model, this brand. And it's a liner lock, as you can see. My favorite part is the shaking it out. It doesn't have a particularly strong detent, but it doesn't have a weak detent either, so you can still flip it out. And it doesn't have a flipper tab. One of my Dagger knives has a flipper tab. I think it's the Arrow. Let's go on. This is a recent knife, maybe within the last 2 months. This is the Kaiser Inyan, and I just love this knife. I love the bolster. I love how the flipper tab is just hidden, sort of hidden in the knife. It doesn't stick out. One can say it's a top flipper, but it really isn't. Oh, that's what I always keep making a mistake. I forget to get my finger out of the fucking way. So yeah, I love this knife. When I have to start carrying it, I'll have to retrain myself to flip it. So it's really drop shutty. It'll cut you. Another favorite of mine, but I mean, it was a favorite of mine because I reviewed it and also I let it go, and it came back to me. I won it back. This was an Apex pass around knife, and I won it. This is the QSP Guy. I like it. It's a liner lock, of course. I like this blade shape especially, and I love this raindrop bolster, carbon fiber raindrop, and with the green micarta scales. I sure wish it did. I wish it had a milled clip, milled titanium clip. That's the only thing that I don't like. So this is an oldie. This is the Nemesis Knives Holy Moly, and I love this knife. I don't know why. Maybe it's the blade shape. Maybe it's I don't like the pocket clip because it's a tip down carry, and there's no option to change it. It doesn't even have an option to flip it on the other side. But I like the knife overall. It's super fidget friendly, super easy to flip out. Yeah, I've always liked this knife. You can see through the handle, the blade. I love it. Recently I got the Devil's Finger, and it's fighting me. Like I almost like it as much as the Holiday. It's a good looker. I mean, I love this wire clip. I love the scales that I have to keep oiling to just deepen the red. But yeah, it's coming around. It's starting to remain red longer. So I've been EDCing it and trying to wear my hand oils into the scales, because they'll get chalky if you maybe let it go for 2 weeks. They'll get chalky. Okay, this is the QSP Hawk, and if I didn't say, this is the Finch Devil's Finger. This is the QSP Hawk. This is a recent favorite of mine. It's a flipper tab, CPM, or what is it? CPM. Oh no, this is the 14C28N. If you want to know any steel of this, just ask me. I probably didn't say all the steels. This is the reason I like this knife is because it's a great thumb stub flipper. I mean, I have a flipper tab, but I prefer the thumb stud on this one. This is a great EDC blade. Yeah, just check it out. And this is an oldie. This is my first Honey Badger. I think this is the medium size. I think they come in small, medium, and large, and I think this is a medium. This is my first Honey Badger, and this is practically my first modded knife, the modded scales. I did this with dye and a little bit of rubbing on this raised honeycomb to take off the dye. I almost said paint, dye. So I like this knife. This great flipper, great flipper. Yep. You can flip it out with a finger in the hole. You can flip it out with a thumb stud, or not thumb stud, flipper tab. It's a great knife, great knife. Razor sharp, razor sharp. It maintains its edge. I believe this one is in D2. So. And lastly, I just had to cut it off. This is my recent favorite. I bought a pink knife. This is my first pink knife, and I had a chance to buy a black knife or several versions, colors, but I chose the pink. I don't know why. I just chose the pink. I just liked it. So you can't flip this one out. It's a liner lock too. I haven't been able to flip this one out. So I usually roll this knife out with my thumb. You can see it has no pass-through. So, I mean, if I would finger flick it out if I could, but I even tried to thumb stud it out. I just can't, because I think it's cut where they want you to roll it out with your thumb. I always curious if a left-hand person could finger flick it out. I can't, because I'm absolutely stupid left-handed. So I just rolled it out. This is, by the way, this is in CPM 20CV steel, so it's a really good steel. And it's a small knife, but I like it. I like to carry it as a secondary knife because it's really small. So I hope this was useful to somebody. Like, maybe you haven't seen like this knife, or this knife, or even this knife. Maybe it's useful. I have many liner locks. It was hard to just narrow this down. Well, it wasn't hard because I just went to my top favorites, you know, that I have easy access to, and these I have easy access to. So, did I say it? Did I say the name of it? This is the Eddie. Quiet Carry Eddie. I don't know if I said that. Yeah. Okay. Take care, Wastelanders.